Mm-hmm.
And so I'm the only dude to ever get short to freestyle. Mark that down, Von. Okay. Look, we got a Bay Area tribunal on this call right here. We got the one and only Chuy Gomez, the legend. What up, Chuy?
What up, Sway? Good to have you.
Good to have you, man. We got the soon to be icon, Big Von. What up, Big Von?
Hey, Sway. Thank you for having me in your universe, brother. It's always a pleasure.
Come on, man.
Nice t-shirt, man. Nice t-shirt, Von.
You know, I'm rapping one time today. Oakland Scrapers. That's what we doing, you know.
Hey.
You see it?
Okay, we got Franny Franzen is here, Friendly Bay, wherever he at. But look, man, man, this right here is legendary. As we prepare for this Verzuz, we got two people who I constantly argue that if you mention who's the greatest of all time, you got to have them in that conversation. I've been campaigning that for a long time. There's not many artists that have done what they have done and continue to do. We got Too Short and E-40 here. Big round of applause for these dudes, man. Come on.
What up, yo?
What's up, family?
What's good?
Hey, man, how y'all feeling, man? Short, what you sipping on?
I'm sipping on Earl Stevens, the red wine, man. The Earl Stevens. What is this? What's it called, Earl?
That's the Earl Stevens sweet red. This the Earl Stevens funky.
Oh, yeah, that's why it tastes so damn good. It's a sweet red. But Earl sends me bottles, man. That's my guy. And I really am a connoisseur of I love his brands, man. The Slurricane, you know, the tequila. I don't know how to say E-40 in Spanish. How you say it?
E-40. Tell him.
E-40.
I love it, man. I love it.
We know it.
I support my homie. I'm in the red cup, man, but I'm sipping the Earl Stevens. Stevens all day.
Cup too right here, but I got the wine glass. I got a red cup. I'm gonna switch up.
Hey, cheers, man. Here's a toast to the Bay, man.
This is a toast to the Bay, man. You know what I'm talking
all
about?
day.
I ain't above you. I ain't below you, but I'm right beside you.
I'm right beside you, man. Cheers, hey, so the way I want to do this Tales. Hey, Short, is that the first song you gonna play in the Verzuz? Freaky Tales?
Hey, man, whatever you do, ignore the background music, man.
Hey,
it's hard to do.
This is what we gonna do, man. We each just keep asking questions, man. Y'all can ask questions. Let's just have a conversation, man. I think this Verzuz is really iconic because I always said that the Bay history has never been documented properly. Not even with the hip hop evolution. I think they made a good attempt, but nobody has really gotten into the detail. Folks have always confused the Bay with LA, so on and so forth. So I'm proud of you dudes, man. And I hope you tell your stories. Both of you came out in the mid 80s. I was there. Come on, you know, and the rap game was totally different from there. I want to start with you, Short. What was it like being a rapper from the Bay when you first came out, when you traveled outside of the Bay? How did they treat you?
Well, you know, that's a good question, because the first places I got to go to, literally outside the Bay, was only like down to Fresno or over to Stockton or something like that, Sacramento. But when I jumped on the plane, the first two cities I went to was Houston, Texas, and Chicago, Illinois, and it was instantaneous. Like it was love, man. It was like real big. I remember going to a club in Houston, Gucci's. I remember going to Jay Prince's old club, the Rhinestone. You know what I'm saying? The Chicago State Theater. You know what I'm saying? It was like classic stuff. And way back then, Bishop Don Juan was pulling up on me, showing love. So you know, for me, man, it's never. I don't have a story of struggle. I never struggled as an artist. I never had to kick in a door or say, "Hey, man, play my demo." None of that ever happened to me. I never had a record that had to be broken, or you know what I'm saying, or a crowd that had to be warmed up to. It was just always Short Dog, man. So I don't know that, you know, from 15 years old, I was selling tapes in the streets and they were buying them. I wasn't that guy outside of Walmart going, "Hey, man, you want to help me support me?" I never did that, bro. It was all Short Dog was always. So when I got out of town, it was just love. I felt like not at the time, but I really felt like looking back, and at a certain point in time, I did realize it. I'm spreading the gospel of Oakland to the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm really like pulling up in Tennessee and Detroit, Michigan. I'm just like, bro, this is what's happening in Oakland. This is what's going down the Bay. And they like, man, we fuck with y'all. You know what I mean? So I was on that vibe for, you know, that's what I was a trailblazer.
You was straight up. I like, hey, man, cheers to that, man. You trailblazing trails right there, man. 40, was it like that for you all the time?
Well, when I first entered the game?
Yeah, because I mean, let's be 100, man. The further east you went, the less favorable you became in the rap game in the 80s. I know that for a fact. Y'all didn't go through that? You didn't go through that, 40?
My shit was a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from a small city, Vallejo, we was like the underdogs of the Bay Area, but we had a lot of respect all over, and we wasn't known out here, even in the Bay as a, like a Richmond, Oakland, Frisco. We was just Vallejo. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, me coming in with an unorthodox style. Sorry, I'm just trying to. I didn't want this to go bad, man. I'm sorry. Me coming in with an unorthodox style, different slang words, this, that, and the fourth. It was a lot more harder. So I remember in '88, we made a record called MVP Most Valuable Players. I don't know if y'all familiar with this DJ club. It was called the Pros DJs.
Rico Casanova, yeah. Was the founder.
Oh, well, anyway, I'm going to keep it 1,000. Wow. You heard this story before, Chuy? Why are you laughing, Chuy?
No, I'm like, he's like, whatever. I'm going to keep it moving, whatever.
You heard it before, Vaughn?
No, tell your story. We ain't heard it.
Y'all never heard this story, huh?
Tell the story.
This never heard it. Tell it.
I heard it. Go ahead, tell it, Earl.
You want me to say it?
Yeah.
Check this out. I remember 1988. Me, Be Legit, D-Shot, all of us. We was MVP. We had a guy by the name of Casper. He believed in us. We had MVP. We spit some good shit, but we didn't spit the shit we wanted to spit. We should have spit. We wanted to quick way, and it was our first album. It was a big piece of vinyl. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't spit the shit that we really should have been spitting. We was MVP. So anyway, make a long story short, a short story long. We played our record at the Pros DJ thing. Okay. We after it was over, Casper asked him, "Hey, how did it go? What y'all think?" The whole room. If I didn't know what anxiety was at that time, I didn't know the name of it, but I felt I had that shit because my heart was just racing, and nobody said shit. They didn't say like, I think it needed a little more work, or one day, y'all make it. This was like 300 people, however many people was in that motherfucking room. It was the Pros DJ. This before I met y'all. This 88. You feel me? And I'm like, man, dude, they hurt our feelings, bro. And I haven't ran into not one of them that I know of to this day out of 33 years. I have not ran into them because they shame whoever the fuck they is. I proved they motherfucking ass wrong. They knocked the shit out of us like we wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't never had a grudge against somebody, but I got one against them because that was the first time my heart ever raced and shit. You know what I'm saying? They kept doing it for like a couple of months and shit. Like, I'm like, what the fuck going on with me? You feel me?
Crazy.
I got 1 foot in the streets, 1 foot in the fucking vocal booth. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going through it. Niggas is kicking in doors and shit, nigga, in the V and robbing motherfuckers, all that shit in 88. You feel me? So I had a whole bunch of motherfucking shit I was up against. A style that was unique and unorthodox. You know what I'm saying? Being from a small city, going through it, trying to make it. And them motherfuckers didn't give me no opinion. They didn't say nothing. They just act like we wasn't shit. And look what I became. That's it.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, players. Cheers, man.
Yo, Earl, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you, on every scale that we could put this on, man, coming from the Bay, even like you could say coming from the West Coast, it was just automatically a lot of bad reviews or a lot of negative or not promising reviews before, you want to get in the system of maybe like the Source magazine or something. You want to like get a review and get it out there.
3 nights. 2.5, 3 nights. That type of shit.
Them niggas was 2.5, 3 in me on platinum albums. So, I had a pretty good hardcore exterior, man. After a while, them first jabs hurt. I remember my first one that hurt was it was a important review. And the dude, it was coming out of New York. He said about me, he said, Too Short's not a real rapper, that he just uses explicit lyrics to show his lack of skills. And he just used words like his whole project is mediocre. And I was just like, after that, my album did really good, and I never ever let a review or a critic or anybody like even that was it say something bad about me after that, and I was like, thank you. I'm about to smack you in the head with what I'm about to do.
But the thing what you saying is what bothers me is
the first one hurts, Earl.
You was 100% right. Check it out, you was 100% right. But what it does is make other people, think the same thing that they thinking. You know what I mean? And give other people an opportunity to come in and hate just like he did. Just because he can't relate don't mean you got to hate. That's the problem with my whole career. They can't relate, so they hate. That's the only way to do it. You feel me? Yeah. So like I said, bro, like that shit didn't do nothing but motivate me as well. The Source, I never got on the motherfucking front cover of The Source ever in my life. When I did get a little piece, I had to share it with like 10 other motherfuckers. You feel
who
me?
Who was a basketball player you had to put in check back in the day, man?
That was Rasheed Wallace. We made good.
Yeah. I know that's the homie, but at the same time, he wasn't really understanding. And in time, you like, black, another hit. Yeah. Like, look at me, like he got it. He was like, okay, 40. I just didn't know him from, So what we do outside of all of this is we educate, man. We're educators. We are definitely professors.
They might not catch it at that time, but they catch it later on. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are late, like holiday freight.
Yeah. You know who never gets credit for like being one of the dopest MCs in the Bay?
Who?
Sway. He might not have the bar. No, I'm saying he might not necessarily have the accolades on wax record, like to just be like, I'm short and 40, but the whole time he been spitting Bay game, the whole time he been holding it down, the whole time he's been a pillar and a factor in Bay Area hip hop. Man, when we seen Sway on MTV News, I was like, we on the news.
Yep. I remember when he interviewed the motherfucking president of the United States.
Yes.
I got that right? When he interviewed Obama, and I seen that, I say, this nigga done really made it. I say that's cuz, nigga, my cousin, nigga. There's something about our bloodline, nigga. And a lot of times you know what? Back in the days when I used to listen to you, we sounded on the radio. We sounded like over the airwaves for some reason. I don't know what the fuck happened with that. How did that unfold like that? That gotta have something to do with our genes. You feel me?
Hey, Earl, genetics, baby. That's our genetics. That's our DNA.
Real life.
Man. Hey, Short. Man, if you thought I had bars, man, why you didn't let me jump on a feature or something, man? I could have jumped on.
All right, look. Real logic. Let's talk real logic. So back in the day, for a long time, man, that shit didn't probably like change to like mid-90s. Back in the day, I never wanted to get a beat from E-40's producer. You know what I'm saying? That's they thing. That's they sound. I didn't want to do a record with, whatever rapper that I might love, like Dog Pound or something. I didn't want to do a record with you. I'm just like, let's hang out, let's smoke. Y'all shit sound good. Y'all like my shit. Cool, whatever. It's cool. It wasn't even a thought to like mix and mingle the crews and stuff. And I always, from the Sway and Tech show, from everything, I always saw you as a bridge of a guy who was trying to tell a lot of the West Coast and a lot of your listeners that was syndicated. You was like, I love this hip hop shit. So you was like really like saying, I'm a West Coast cat, but you was showing a lot of love to hip hop from everywhere. And that's like a bridge kind of situation. So me, I was narrow minded back then. I'm like, bro, it's a boom, 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 like freaky tale. Like I was out when I stepped out the box, making the ghetto and songs like that, Money in the Ghetto and Life is Too Short. I was trying to like conform a little bit and be, radio friendly. I'm on Jive Records. I got the RCA records backing me up, but I'm cuss words all day. Just let them roll, motherfucking shit, goddamn asshole. I'm all day.
All day, man.
Very managed to this day.
Jump in that, man. Jump in that. When did you first meet them, Chuy?
Chuy was my neighbor.
Yeah, I was staying across the street on Myrtle Street from Dangerous Studios when I was dating Darius's mama, and I ran into him and Ed Banks on the block.
Yo, Chuy, I remember that story, Chuy.
Chuy made his baby across the street from Dangerous Music Studio.
Little Chuy.
Darius?
Little Darius.
Darius.
What?
Darius that was made on Myrtle Street, Oakland, West Oakland.
West Oakland, man.
Crazy.
But I was already a fan of both of these guys, and for 40, I was a fan when he mentioned South City. He said, "You South San Francisco flamboyant." And ain't nobody ever mentioned South San Francisco. So when he said South San Francisco, that was an automatic like, oh,
Hey.
yo.
Chuy, man, we used to have moments, man. Me and Chuy used to really stop and talk on Myrtle Street, 16th and Myrtle. We used to chop it up. What's up, man? What's going on? Like we was in tune.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
was way back.
Was he on the Were you on the radio? Were you on radio at that time, Chuy?
Yeah, I was at KSOL, moving right into 94.9 at the time when we became Wild 107. So that was around the same time.
And then 2 years later, he came to KMEL.
Yep, 2 years later, I was at 93. I started at KMEL. So that was right before I started at KMEL when I had ran into Short and Ann Banks and the rest of the Dangerous crew over there on Myrtle Street. But I'm telling you, I mean, those guys would always show love, and they was on the block, and it was just dope. And it was like I was telling somebody, I said, I think I ran into Father Dom coming out of there. And we was just asking how I could get some of them old tapes, because there's so many Bay Area artists out there that have been overlooked in regards to talent and what they're spitting. And maybe it's because we're from here, but all the stuff they're spitting we can relate to.
Yeah, we didn't really have no Bay representation like that. You know what? Like real Bay though, not some dude who was from Diablo Valley and faking that he was.
Hey, how does it sound right here, man? How does it sound? I just started this recently. It ain't been on my mind for a long time. Just recently, I was thinking that building over there in Berkeley and all them dope ass studios and all that catalog that Fantasy Records had. Don't you think Fantasy Records missed a great opportunity of just tapping into the Bay Area talent and giving us all the platform to be on a real label? They had money. They had everything. I used to go to Fantasy to finalize my records and make them sound the best they could sound. They had the best equipment. Like, why didn't Fantasy become the biggest hip hop label on the West Coast? Why?
Could have.
The same reason that we don't get, the Bay Area don't get to just us do that they supposed to get. Sometime within, when shit is too gamed up, too creative, too just, just over their head, sometimes people just don't get it. And sometimes people just don't see the gem that they got in their backyard. They got diamonds in their backyard, man. There's diamonds in the Bay. All over the place. It's gold, because it's the gold rush. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying there's diamonds in the Bay, man. So
40, how do you feel after all these years, bro? Like after all these years, still hearing people say Easy and Izzle and Shizzle and Sheezy and all this, like, do you feel that that it's still like this Bay Area culture, like we don't really get our props for putting a lot of these words in this hip hop culture? But do you feel that as far as an artist, do you still feel good about it when you hear people saying that?
I used to, as a youngster, I never just jumped out of my skin with it. But as a youngster, it kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But as I got older and wiser, I'm like, man, people, like I say, they just don't catch it until years later. You know what I'm saying? And they got it from somebody that 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 got it from us.
Not to cut you off, but it's just like the word hella. It's just like the word hella. I remember saying the word hella when I was like 12, 13.
Yeah, teenager. Yeah.
People in LA used to make fun of me for saying hella. Filipinos love to say the word hella.
Yeah.
Like to me, like hella was really blew up to me because of the Filipinos. All the Filipinos, it's hella good, or it's hella, I'm hella drunk, or just the word hella. And now here we are, 2020. Everybody from down south, Midwest, East Coast is saying
it's in the dictionary now.
It's just like Hexa. Nigga, I was Hexa juice, nigga. It was, what I'm saying, Hexa at that time. A party jumps off on Bluebird Street. Vallejo niggas in that motherfucker hella deep.
Hey man, y'all answer the question, man. Answer the question. Blame it on yourselves, man. Blame it on yourselves, man. All y'all out there talking that slick shit
I
on the
didn't even know
airwaves.
that.
E-40 and all them records, man. Sway all over on TV, man. We all put that lingo out there. We did that to them, man. We did it.
We did.
That's true.
Real
Be
spill.
proud. Be proud.
Blame it on us. Just
Claim it, claim it. All right.
Claim it.
We gotta embrace it, man. Just like Short, man. Like Short said, man, he has said the B word so many times, but you know, coming out of Short's mouth, it just sounds better. You know, because we've heard it, we're accustomed to it. You know what I mean? You gotta understand, I heard a Too Short record when I was 10 years old, and I was spitting Too Short lyrics when I was 11. You know what I mean? Here I am, 44, 33 years later, I'm still playing E-40 and Too Short record. I just played Rapper's Ball the other day on Twitch, and somebody's like, wow, what is this record with Jodeci? I'm like, where the fuck have you been? Where have you been? Like, but you know, it makes me feel good to still play those records that came out years ago and have people ask me, yo, what record is this? Because as a DJ, when people ask you, what record is this? And they don't know it, that means they like the record you're playing, or else they wouldn't be asking for it.
That's
you know?
True. Vaughn, what's wrong? They quiet in Pittsburgh?
Nah, 40 done taught me in the past couple years just to be quiet because he says I'm ornery. Because I call him and be like, hey, man, this motherfucker stole our shit. Vaughn, be cool, be cool. Nah, nigga, they cutting our verses off. And Vaughn, be cool. So I just like to take it back because he says I get too rowdy with it because I'll be ready to go to war. Because a lot of these things, the sounds, the lingo, or sometimes they just come get us on and take it off. To the point he just taught us, like, man, we never cared about what they did with us, what they did over there. We care about us and those people that take care of us. We can't keep wanting their appreciation and want them to respect us. We said, fuck everything else.
One thing people got to understand about the Bay Area is we love fucking music, right? Yes. We love the culture of music, where there's reggae, you know, whether it's hip hop or like we love R&B, we just love music. And you know, when we were growing up in the 90s, Sway, you know this, bro. You had the Wake Up Show, like you taught us the way. Like Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Guru. You heard that with an E-40 and Too Short. You know what I'm saying? You heard Jodeci with En Vogue. You heard Tony with Boyz II Men. You know what I mean? And to me, like when I play those records nowadays on Twitch, it's sentimental to me because I was playing these records when they were brand new, when nobody knew what a Captain Save-A-Hole was. You know what I'm saying? When nobody knew what Getting It was or I'm a Player was. And now I'm playing it years later and people are still asking me, yo, what song is this? You know how good that makes me feel? Because I know I was one of the first DJs to play some of these records. And here I am years later playing them and people are still asking me, what record are you playing? You know what I mean? Music is universal, man. And one thing people got to understand about the Bay Area is we love music.
We've showed all coast support. East Coast,
everywhere,
Midwest, everywhere. And to be honest, they showed us a lot of support. The South always had our back in the Midwest.
In the Midwest.
But the East Coast, not so much. East Coast, not so much. I just got to keep it 1,000. Well, I wouldn't even say the East Coast. There's certain parts of the East Coast that fuck with us. Certain soils. Yeah, but New York, they didn't embrace us like that. They didn't just.
You know what it is? I don't think they're our culture, though. You know what I mean? They don't get the lingo until, like you said, 40 until years
later on.
Oh yeah.
I want to know what y'all first time going to New York experience was. Your first time, because I know out of towners' first time in New York City bringing their music is always a crazy experience. What happened?
Man, I was on the elevator. Am I on? Am I on?
Yeah.
I'm on.
We hear you.
Nigga, I was on the elevator in a super fly ass hotel in New York, getting my luggage brought up. I'm on the elevator with the bellman, and he like, you know, I probably got a little jewels and I look like I'm doing something. He like, yo, you know, what you do, man? Who is you? I'm like, I'm a rapper. He like, oh yeah, you know, I know any of your stuff. I'm like, I don't know, man. You know, such say my name, whatever. He like, but man, you ever did anything? I'm like, yeah, you know, I do shows with everybody. I start naming who I do shows. I do shows with Big Daddy Kane. I start naming names. He's like, Big Daddy Kane. I'm talking to the bellman. I'm like, yeah, Big Daddy Kane opened for me a month ago, whatever it was, right? He like, the fuck out of here. Like he went from like warming up to me like, you full of shit. Get the fuck out of here. Like I had him all the way till I said Big Daddy Kane opened up for me. And I'm like, okay, I know what this is. And it was true. Big Daddy Kane had opened up for me one time. He went on he didn't open up for me. He went on before me. But I'm just saying, that dude was like, "Fuck out of here, son."
Hey,
that's how it was.
They used to shit on us so bad, man. I remember me and King Tech had a demo, and we was trying to shop it to Fresh Records to a guy by the name of Ed Moore. So we got all excited. We went and recorded our song in his garage, and Tech used to live in Hayward off of Tennessee, and we recorded this song called King Tech about him. And we were so excited. They flew to New York to let the people at the record company hear the song. And we waiting to hear what they said. Man, they shitted on me so bad, man. I was like, man, maybe this rap thing ain't for me.
Don't that hurt your feelings, though, bro? Don't that hurt your feelings when they do you like that, man?
But let me tell you this, cuzzo.
Like the Pros Music Group.
Yeah, but let me tell you this. What that did, like, short, when Fantasy didn't see it, City Hall Records saw something. You know, Walter and them at City Hall, they saw something. But what they saw was an opportunity to empower us. So everybody, all of us had indie labels. You know what I mean? Dangerous Music, 75 Girls, Sick With It. Me and Tech had All City Records. So we didn't have you didn't have to sell a whole lot back then. You know, we
didn't need Fantasy Records, but I'm saying Fantasy missed the boat, because if they had a label, they had a real building. If they would have came to me and said, "Hey, want to put your records out?" I'd have been like, "Hell yeah, let's go." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, being so far, but yet so close to each other, how dope was that when you used to go to like a Music People's barbecue and you have 40 Warded, Short, you got Father Dom, you got the Coup, you got everybody. And everybody had a different sound.
Rapping
Nobody sound like each other.
Don't forget Rapping Forte.
Cool Nelson, Cool Nelson, IMP. You know what I'm saying?
Posse. Come on, man.
UDI, all them folks. And it was dope just to have everybody together. And you know, everybody had a different style. And there was so much diversity in the Bay Area. The folks don't even understand that, you know, Hyro's from here. You know what I'm saying?
Who the homies from East Palo Alto? Totally Insane?
Oh, Chunk.
Totally Insane.
Insane. And that's Father Dom.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying?
C-Funk.
All these dudes.
C-Funk.
That's what I'm saying. C-Funk, you know?
Yeah, we about to drop a song right now that he produced.
Really? Yes, that's right.
Prozac now. He's a new improved Prozac.
Hey man, it was a beautiful thing being a part of the young Bay Area music scene, man. It was so I'm gonna tell you the best part about it is the Bay Area is still being very innovative right now. We got great music coming out the Bay. I love our young artists. You know, the Guap Dads, the G-Eazy's, the K-Lineys. I mean, the list is long, man. The people that's really making good music, all black, man.
You know what I'm saying?
But they don't really have that move around freedom we had. Not because they can't, because it got a little more violent amongst the rap crews and in different little cities and areas. And it's like, we used to be able to go out to a picnic, man. E-40 threw a picnic every year. We go to the picnic, man. We go to the picnic and hang out. When I see Cool Nut and his 50 homies, we hollering at my 50 homies, Frisco niggas, Oakland niggas. What's up, nigga? You know what I'm saying? If it's tension in there, whatever, we still the rappers gonna stop and have a moment and powwow. I see Forte, he got 50 Filmo niggas with him. We about to holler. What's up, man? You know what I'm saying? I used to drive my drop top Cadillac many times with my big ass rope chains on, talking on my car phone, pulling up to the projects on McAllister in the Filmo, waiting for Forte to come out. His homies showing me love. Like it was love.
Right?
She's hooked. And she can't look, she's hooked. The Dangerous Crew compilation. That shit was sick. Man,
yeah, me, Forte, Spice One.
Who did that one? Who did the She's Hooked beat? You did that? Don't tell me you did that.
Listen to the bass line. That's a too short bass
line. I knew you
right?
did that, nigga. I knew it. I knew it.
I found Rapping Forte. I went to a club. It was called what was that club? It was like 3rd and Palouse, Frisco.
Solar System.
The Solar System.
No
man.
Way.
Big Bob.
The walls was sweating in that motherfucker, and Forte was on the microphone singing some song called Hubbers, and the crowd was going crazy.
Hubbers.
Man, I fought my way through the crowd. I had to go on. I only probably had 1 or 2 songs out, but I was about to go on after him. But I had to find that dude who was doing that. Me and him been friends ever since. I was like, bro, you gotta come to the studio with me. Like him and Oski, they was just rocking crowds. I was like, nigga, come to the studio with me. Watch what I do.
Hey, real quick.
Legendary.
I want to say this. It's 2020, and I just want to give y'all flowers right now for these because y'all were very innovative, very early in the game. Y'all were the artists selling music out the trunk for real. You know, we hear that term all the time. You guys, Sway, you too, Sway. I'm not gonna forget about you, Sway.
No doubt, Franny. But
you edited? Are you editing? Drum, we gotta edit. We gotta get our shit together, man.
I got it, man. I'm on it.
What's happening is Von, you DJing for 40, but you ain't doing nothing. Why you ain't?
Hey, man, I don't cooking for the company, man. You can't come in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? You get it when it's done.
Hey, Franny, this ain't flowers at this point, man. Me and E-40 ain't getting flowers. Sway ain't getting flowers, man. We getting whole gardens, man. Whole community garden, man.
You better know it. You better know it.
Hey, fuck it. Y'all getting the whole Humboldt County then. Let's call it.
Yeah, give me all the flour in Humboldt.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, do y'all remember the first time y'all sold your first piece of music out the trunk?
I can. I'll tell you. You want to go first?
No, mine wasn't a trunk. Mine was a paper bag off the AC Transit.
I was just on the bus. Yep.
Mine was my mama was so proud of me. So she always in town, visiting her cousin, which was her. You know how you got your favorite cousin. So she was visiting her cousin. So she'd come bring that what's that 75 burger? What's it called? Quarter burger?
Pound burger.
Quarter pound burger. She always bring one of them home. You know what I'm saying? But she was so proud of us that we kept her with supply cassettes and CDs and records, and she just give them to random people at that burger spot. You feel me? While she there, you know what I'm saying? This my son. She always had my back like a masseuse. You know what I'm saying? And so my Uncle St. Charles, which a lot of you may have heard Master P mention, is the epitome of independent shit, man. Like showing us how to grit. He taught me so much. Uncle is like your second dad. That's who he is. I love my dad. My dad taught me some shit, even though him and my mom was divorced when I was 8 years old. But I'm saying, I'm a product of him. But my Uncle St. Charles taught me a lot in general, and he taught me a lot in music, and he taught us all a lot because he the epitome of the grit. You know what I'm saying? So he taught me he said, this is what you call a consignment sheet, right? This sheet tells you, okay, you could take this to anywhere that has your that is willing to sell your product. You know what I'm saying? And they sign it. You come back, you give them the product. So I go to Eminem liquor. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Right there in South Vallejo. I get him this the 80s. I get him, you understand me, 15, 30 CDs. You know what I'm saying? They pay me for it once they sold it. I come in with another 15, 30 CDs for them. And that's how I circulate. Selling tapes out the trunk of the car. If I got somebody that I see, you want to buy it? Oh, okay, here go receipt. Now I had the receipt and everything, nigga. Briefcase, everything, nigga. I was a business girl, nigga. You feel me? On the case like a lawyer. You hear me? Kept all my receipts, the whole woo box. St. Charles taught me. He taught me how to go get a bank account when I was young.
I mean, you say that you got your game from your Uncle St. Charles.
Got the game from my Uncle St. Charles, my mama brother. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know from everybody on this stage, because I was too young at the time and y'all was already in the industry working. Do you remember the moment? Because in the Bay Area, our Super Bowl was Summer Jam. And I remember each year that both of y'all got y'all first time on Summer Jam. Can you relive that moment for me? Everybody, Chuy, Franzen, Sway, y'all remember when those brothers came? Because I've heard the stories of walking through the crowd with the white coats, with the click jackets. I heard Short go up there tearing down the whole joint on the radio, cussing, saying bitch live on the air. What's the moment?
Yo, I remember Short and Ice Cube performing the same year.
Yeah.
And I'm back in the broadcast area, and I'm like, you know, I had to be on the air, so I couldn't watch him. I had to watch him from backstage. I remember having my headphones on. I remember hearing Short say a couple curse words. I'm like, man, this is on the air? I was like, man, this is amazing. So and then I remember Ice Cube going on, and I put my headphones back on. I'm like, oh shit, Ice Cube's cursing too. I wonder what the FCC is gonna do. It was just, you know, it was a moment. Like, you gotta understand, Von, I was 15, 16 years old, you know what I mean? Yeah. And being that young and soaking up game from DJs like Chuy and Sway and, you know, Rick Chase and all these amazing DJs in the Bay. You know, I knew you cursing on the radio is like that's a no-no. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. That year he's talking about, I was actually working at Wild 107 because I remember being on the radio and having my radio on the side, listening to Summer Jam while I'm on the radio at Wild 107, and I'm bumping, and there was a 2-day thing, and Ice Cube and Short was on, and I was like, oh, I need to be at that place at one point in my life. But I loved where I was at because they gave me my chance over at KSOL. But I said, one day I'm going to be over there rocking with those dudes. And little did I know that next year I'd be on the lineup and I'd be doing the night show with Rosary. And then we got a chance to introduce these dudes and a bunch of other folks out to the masses at Summer Jam. And that was incredible for a youngster from the Bay to be able to introduce somebody from the soil and just be able to expose it to everybody. Because, you know, we had everybody from Vallejo to Stockton to San Jose to Gilroy at Summer Jam.
Yeah.
And even if you went there, you were listening on the radio because at that time you were broadcasting the concert. You didn't get a ticket to go to the show.
There were no
that
streams.
Was crazy.
You can stream that. You know what I mean? And that's also a time when people really had to, like you said, listen to the radio. Yes. You know, you had to really appreciate. You can't just you can't watch this stuff on YouTube. Like,
you can't go back and replay it. You have to live it.
I was with my mama when the Short got on stage. Yeah. My mama was like, "Is that on the radio? Turn that on!" Like, come on.
Summer Jam is very instrumental to this Verzuz that's about to happen. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it's instrumental is Summer Jam is the reason why me and 40 started making records together. Summer Jam is the reason why Rapper's Ball got made. Wow. Period, point blank. And
how did y'all get KC and JoJo on that? That's what I wanted to ask y'all.
40 got KC. It was only KC. Yes. We did another one with KC and JoJo later, but 40 got KC. But look, Sway, it's the whole story. It's that whole story of the I did Summer Jams before I moved to Atlanta. Summer Jam was the biggest shit ever. Walking out, I still got the video. Nigga walking out and it's fucking 25,000 people screaming at you and shit. That was a big motherfucking deal because it's 25,000 people from the Bay. That's a different kind of scream. So, and then the way that wall of people goes up, that wall of grass, that just make it like it's so close, but it's so many of them, and you feel that fucking scream, and you can see the last face all the way in the back. Like Summer Jam is the shit. So, I feel like I don't know if y'all know the story all the way. Everybody know versions of it, but. That one year I had moved to Atlanta, and then Camille started playing the Player Hater song, and I even made a couple phone calls, and I was like I felt like I was like, man, I remember Camille calling me and saying, hey, can you come support us at this event or come out to this or even come do Summer Jam? And I'm already big. When Camille started being a station, I was already big, so I'm coming to help the fucking station become hip hop from the rock and roll transition. I'm down with the station. And I felt like when they played Player Hater, even though the Loonies was my close homies, they made some of their music at my studio. Drew Down made all his shit to studio. Chris Hicks was my homie who put the Loonies out. I felt like Camille playing that record did me wrong.
But you got to tell them why. You got to tell them how you got to the, like, why, how y'all fell out. You know, you ain't got to go there, but, you know, just let them know. First of all, they fell out. They recorded the station and they fell out. So that's that. That's how I go. That's why he was mad about Camille playing the record. Go ahead.
The Loonies was mad at me about a freestyle bet with Rapping Ron over some pizza that they lost, and we laughed at him. They was mad that the OG laughed at him. True story. We was all homies.
I didn't even know that.
I'm gonna tell this shit real quick. Watch. We was all homies. So the Loonies was mad. I didn't sign them. I laughed at them that day. The pizza bet and all that shit. And they got in the studio. They dope ass rappers. Them niggas is dope. Nump and motherfucking Yuck. Them niggas dope. So they got in the studio. They're like, we gonna gas the OG. They had Chris Hicks' blessing, and they did the shit. And I was mad that Camille played the record. And I was like, but they like, yeah, Short, you moved to Atlanta. It's in rotation. It's hot. I'm like, cool. It's cool. The 500 remix came out. I was like, okay, niggas is getting down. All right, that's how I'm in my thing, right? So I said, I had one mission. I said to KMEL, I'm coming up to Summer Jam. All I want to do is say in front of all of the fans that the Loonies and Too Short ain't got beef. Because it was this whole thing out that the Loonies was the new niggas. They pushed up. Short had to move to Atlanta. It was getting hot for him. I was like, nigga, we finna squash all this. And I got up there. They gave me those 4 stickers.
Backstage passes.
The backstage passes.
I had like 45 niggas in the parking lot. We got in on them with them 4 stickers.
I remember that.
Hey, I was right there.
I was right there too.
So wait, all the rumors are the wrong story. I'm gonna tell you the true story. We got in there. We had the fucking mob. All I said when I got in there, I was talking mostly to Lionel B. I said, man, the Loonies was on. I said, man, just walk me out there so we can show us love. It was all love. It was way before we talk about anything with squash. We had been talked on the phone. That shit had been over with. We was family. Like they was like, oh, you know, it was love. So I was like, we got to say this in front of everybody because everybody need to know.
Yeah, we all had click jackets on. My
What kind of cup did you have in your hand? What were you drinking that night, Water?
I probably had a Gatorade bottle with some Color Rossi in it. You know, the Gatorade emptied out with the Color Rossi.
Okay.
You know?
Hey, Chuy, you was there, right?
Right. I seen it coming down the 40 coming down with his whole crew down the aisle. You see that?
Yeah. Hey, but they did it. Hold up. 40 painting a beautiful, my cousin painting a beautiful picture. Okay, so they was at the top, right?
Right.
That grass area was. They start walking down in the middle of somebody's show.
Yes.
And so the the attention went from the stage to the clip, right?
Like I said, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing, goddammit.
Hey, who was on stage at that time? You remember who was on stage that time, 40?
Was it 112?
I'm saying.
Boys the Men? Was it Boys the Men?
Boys the Men.
It was somebody like that.
Hey, and then I remember I said, okay, and this before we knew we was even cousins. We met up at the side door, and I was like, hey man, we gonna make this happen. I'm gonna try to get you, Kev, D-Shot. I'm gonna try to get y'all on stage so y'all can say something. But I only
Who was Kev?
Not Kev.
Kevin Dixon. Kevin Dixon.
Yeah. And I said, but 40, man, I only could get like 3 people. Yo. He said, okay, I'll open the door. About 40 motherfuckers start running through the door. I was like, yo, 40, you killing me right now, man.
Young Water and his crew. Our crew was hard-headed. We'd tear up shit back then. Not trying to brag. We was like that, you know. But we didn't do it that day. We just was worried about her. She banned me after that. I was banned for life. Oh my God, for a long
Hey guys. They have another interview.
Oh, okay. All right.
So cool. We need to wrap.
All right. Let me say this in closing.
Kelly, don't be kicking us off of here,
hey, man.
I got to deal with Stacy and all those people at Empire down the line.
Let me ask this. Real
Tell
quick.
them I'm Water and he's Todd.
Hey, listen.
Yo, let me just wrap this all up. The moral of the story is you can't ban Too Short and E-40, man. I don't give a fuck what you do across. You can't ban us from a region. You can't ban us from a side of town. You can't ban us from airwaves. We are in control of our own destiny, man. Like the whole time. Every time you threw an obstacle at me and told me I was too old, my career was over, I just came back with another hot record. I just did another collabo or something. I just bounced up somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't never stop what we do. I respect E-40 so much. I respect E-40 so much for navigating through this, man. I watched all these niggas fall off. All of them. Everybody that came up with us came and went. And we stand tall. And not only do we stay in the game, like I'm going to shout out all the artists that ever went as big as or did it. But, you know, I love my G-Eazy's all in, but ain't none of them did it as long as. None of them. And me and 40 grabbed the crown and held it through niggas' whole careers. It's like some like Jordan stopping niggas from getting chips and shit. Nigga, we held it. And like a nigga went through his 20s, 30s, 40s. They like, somebody get these niggas out the way. Nigga. Hey. That nigga 53, I'm 54, nigga. We ain't going nowhere. We finna
nowhere, man. God willing. As long as I tell motherfucker, as long as we got our life, our health, and our strength, and we in our right mind, there's no declining this, bro. The grit don't quit, baby.
The grit don't quit. Hey, and I want to shout out. We gotta acknowledge MC Hammer. For his impact. What he's done, because that dude was selling 10 million records. Opening the world up with his success. I gotta shout out my brother Ye Ski, who I grew up with the work that he's done over the years and putting his foot 10 toes down in it too. But I'm really, really proud of y'all, excited about this Verzuz. Man, y'all rep the Bay so solid. I can't do nothing but salute you. And I wish we could do this more often, man. I asked Chuy to come on. He didn't hesitate. Bond. I just shot Franzen the link, and he just came on, man. I think we got to keep doing this more often.
All right? We need to do this just at least once a month, once or twice a month.
Chop it up and shit,
just to check in with everybody, in
the days and times of all these platforms, man. The message we've been trying to get across might actually get across if we did this a little bit more. Like people would pay attention because it'll get so many hits, and we'll tell so much knowledge of what happened from our end of the game, man. Like
what really happened though sometimes too, because sometimes the stories get told a little differently when they don't come from the horse's mouth. So
there you go. There you go. Hey man, y'all stay Bay strong, man. Salute. Y'all see my hoodie, right?
We see you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hell fucking yeah. I need that shirt. Where can I get that?
They got them in the town. I'll get
I need that.
Food for thought, man. Food for thought. I would never wish nothing bad on Joe Biden. But if something did happen to him,
we got
a black sister.
Come on, we got a black
I didn't say it. I just
said it, and we heard it.
The president, hello.
Come on.
Hello.
Hey man, y'all have a beautiful night. Hey Vaughn, you gonna be DJing? Can you give us some insight on what you gonna do for 40 set?
All you gotta know is we all going down Too Short E-40 Saturday on Verzuz. It's a unity thing. We gonna unify. We ain't Verzuz. We just gonna give it to y'all the way y'all need it, man. Talk to him, Earl.
Oh man, it's gonna be a celebration. This is a wonderful thing. This is legendary. You know what I'm saying? I am so proud to do this with my big bro, man. You know what I'm saying? I love this dude sincerely, man. You know what I'm saying? He told me, watching him gave me the game. You feel me? And like I say,
real talk, man.
We want the young people, we want the young generation to see how we get down. We want these rappers that's cool with each other right now to continue to be cool with each other years later. You know what I'm saying? That's what page we on. Solidness.
Hey man, you about to hear your favorite E-40 and Too Short songs, and you about to not hear your favorite E-40 Too Short songs. They're gonna be so happy and so mad. It's too much shit to play. It's just,
we need 3 hours.
I felt good about the songs I picked, and then I started scrolling through my albums. I was like, damn, I left off hella shit.
You left out I Ain't Tripping. You left out,
man.
Well, you guys got 20 songs. Is it 20 songs apiece?
It's not enough.
Oh, definitely not gonna be enough. You need like a 3-hour show.
It's not enough. They need to give us round. They need to give us 2 rounds.
Y'all doing it from the Bay?
It's got to be in the Bay, man. Got to be.
We got to do it in the Bay. We're gonna do that. We got to do what we say.
Anywhere else is blasphemy.
Okay. Hey man, I'm looking forward to it. Man, y'all rock out, man. Show them how we do it in the Bay, man. I appreciate y'all and all this time, man. I love y'all. Everybody on this.
Love you back, bro.
Okay, y'all be safe, man.
From the Bay to the universe. From the Bay to the universe.